Hi, it's Beth. Welcome to 2 Kings 22:11. When the king heard the words of the book of the law, he tore his clothes. Reading the Bible to you in a year. Today we are in Genesis chapters 32 to 35. And Jacob departed on his own way. And looking up, he saw a divine camp encamped, and the angel of God met him. Now Jacob, when he saw them, said, "This is a divine camp." And he called the name of that place Camps. And Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to his brother Esau in the land of Seir, in the territory of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, "Thus you shall say to my lord Esau, Thus says your servant Jacob, I have lived with Laban as an alien and stayed until now. And cattle and donkeys and sheep and male and female slaves have come into my possession. And I have sent to tell you my lord Esau, in order that your servant may find favor before you." And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to your brother Esau, and he is coming to meet you, and 400 of his men are with him." Then Jacob was greatly afraid and perplexed, and he divided the people that were with him, and the cattle and the sheep into two companies. And Jacob said, "If Esau should come to one company and eradicate it, then there will be a second company to save itself." And Jacob said, "God of my father Abraham and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, who said to me, 'Hurry off to the country of your origin, and I will do you good,' it is sufficient for me because of all the righteousness and because of all the truth that you have brought about for your servant. For with my staff I crossed this Jordan, but now I have become two companies. Deliver me from the hand of my brother Esau, because I am afraid of him, that he not come smite me and mother with children. Yet you said, I will do you great good and make your offspring as the sand of the sea, which shall not be counted for multitude." And he slept there that night. And from what he was bringing, he took presents and sent them off to his brother Esau, 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 sheep, 20 rams, 30 milk camels and their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 donkeys, and 10 foals. And he gave them under control to his servants, a flock separately. He said to his servants, "Go on ahead of me, and put a space between drove and drove." And he commanded the first, saying, "If Esau my brother should meet you and ask you, saying, 'Whose are you, and where are you going, and whose are these going on ahead of you?' you shall say, 'Your servant Jacob has sent presents to my lord Esau, and there he is behind us.'" And he commanded the first and the second and the third and all who were going on behind those flocks, saying, "Speak in accordance with this word to Esau when you find him, and you shall say, 'There is your servant Jacob coming behind us.' For he said, 'I shall propitiate his face with the persons that go on before him, and afterwards I shall see his face, for perhaps he will accept my face.' And the presents passed in front of him, but he himself slept that night in the camp. And that night, after he had gotten up, he took his 2 wives and his 2 maids and his 11 youngsters and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. And he took them and crossed the wadi and carried over all that was his. And Jacob was left alone, and a man was wrestling with him until morning. And he saw that he was not powerful against him, and he touched the flat part of his thigh. And the flat part of Jacob's thigh became numb as he wrestled with him. And he said to him, "Send me away, for the dawn has come up." But he said, "I will not send you away unless you bless me." And he said to him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Jacob." And then he said to him, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel shall be your name, because you have prevailed with the God, and with humans you are powerful." Then Jacob asked and said, "Tell me your name." And he said, "Why do you ask this, my name?" And there he blessed him. And Jacob called the name of that place Divine Form, for I have seen a God face to face, and my life has been preserved. And the sun rose upon him when he passed by form of God. Now he was limping upon his thigh. Therefore to this day the sons of Israel shall not eat the sinew that became numb, that is on the flat part of the thigh, because he touched the flat part of Jacob's thigh, the sinew, and it became numb. When Jacob looked up, he saw, and see, his brother Esau was coming, and 400 men with him. And Jacob distributed the youngsters to Leah and Rachel and the 2 maids, and put the 2 maids with their sons out in front, and Leah with her youngsters behind, and Rachel and Joseph last. But he himself advanced ahead of them, and did obeisance upon the ground 7 times until he came near his brother. And Esau ran forward to meet him, and embracing him, he kissed him and fell upon his neck, and they both wept. And looking up, he saw the women and youngsters, and said, "What are these to you?" And he said, "The youngsters by which God has shown mercy to your servant." And the maids and their children drew near and bowed down. And Leah and her children drew near and did obeisance. And afterwards Rachel and Joseph drew near, and they did obeisance. And he said, "What are these to you, all these companies that I have met?" And he said, "That your servant may find favor before you, Lord." But Esau said, "I have much, brother. Let your property be yours." But Jacob said, "If I have found favor before you, accept my presents through my hands. With regard to this, I saw your face, as someone might see a divine face, and you will be pleased with me. Receive my blessings that I have brought to you, because God has shown mercy to me, and I have everything." And he urged him, and he received them. And he said, "When we depart, we shall go a direct route." But he said to him, "My Lord knows that the youngsters are rather delicate, and the sheep and cows are giving birth for me. So if I should drive them hard for one day, all the cattle will die. Let my Lord advance ahead of his servant, whereas I will regain strength on the way, in accordance with the leisure of the journey that is before me, and in accordance with the pace of the young children, until I come to my Lord in Seir." Then Esau said, "I shall leave behind with you some of the people who are with me." But he said, "Why is this? It is enough that I have found favor before you, Lord." Then Esau turned back on that day on his way to Seir, and Jacob was setting out for tents, and he made himself dwellings there, and made tents for his cattle. Therefore he called the name of that place Tents. And Jacob came to Salem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Mesopotamia of Syria, and he encamped facing the city. And from Hamor, Shechem's father, he acquired 100 lambs for the portion of the field, there where he had set up his tent. And there he set up an altar and invoked the God of Israel. Now Dinah, the daughter of Leah, whom she had borne to Jacob, went out to observe the daughters of the inhabitants. And Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Chorite, and ruler of the land, saw her, and seizing her, he lay with her and humbled her. And he attended to the person of Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the maiden, and spoke with her according to the maiden's mind. And Shechem spoke to his father Hamor, saying, "Get me this girl for a wife." Now Jacob heard that the son of Hamor had defiled his daughter Dinah, but his sons were with the livestock in the plain. And Jacob kept silent until they came. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out to Jacob to speak with him. And the sons of Jacob came from the plain, and when they heard, the men were cut to the quick. And it was very painful to them, because he had done an unseemly thing in Israel by lying with Jacob's daughter. And it shall not be thus. And Hamor spoke with them, saying, "My son Shechem has selected your daughter with his soul. Give her to him as a wife. Make marriages with us. Give your daughters to us, and take our daughters for your sons, and settle among us. And as for the land, see, it is broad before you. Settle and travel for business in it, and acquire property in it." Then Shechem said to her father and to her brothers, "May I find favor before you, and whatever you say we will give. Increase the bride price very much, and I will give it, just as you tell me, and you shall give me this girl for a wife." But the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and his father Hamor with deceit, and spoke with them, because they had defiled their sister Dinah. And Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, Leah's sons, said to them, "We will not be able to carry out this matter, to give our sister to a man who has a foreskin, for it is a disgrace for us. In this we will become like you and settle among you, if you, even you, become like us when every male of yours has been circumcised. And we will give our daughters to you, and we will take some of your daughters as wives for us. And we will live beside you, and will be as one clan. But if you do not listen to us to be circumcised, we will depart, taking our daughters." And their words were very pleasing before Hamor and before Shechem, the son of Hamor. And the young men did not delay to carry out this matter, for he was devoted to Jacob's daughter. Now he was the most honored of all those in his father's house. So then Hamor and his son Shechem came to the gate of their city and spoke to the men of their city, saying, "These people are peaceable with us. Let them live on the land and travel in it for business. And as for the land, see, it is broad before them. We will take their daughters as wives for us, and we will give them our daughters. Only in this will the people become like us to live with us, so as to be one people when every male of ours is circumcised, as they have also been circumcised. And will not their livestock and their possessions and their quadrupeds be ours? Only in this let us become like them, and they will live with us. And all those going out of the gate of their city listened to Hamor and his son Shechem. And they had the flesh of their foreskin circumcised, every male. Now it came about on the third day, when they were in pain, that the two sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took each one his dagger and entered into the city safely and killed every male. They killed both Hamor and his son Shechem with a dagger's edge, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house and went away. Then the sons of Jacob came upon the casualties and plundered the city in which they had defiled their sister Dinah. And they took their sheep and their cattle and their donkeys, both as many as were in the city and as many were in the plain, and all their slaves and all their chattels and their wives they captured. And they plundered both as many things as were in the city and as many things that were in the dwellings. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have made me hateful, so that I am evil to all those inhabiting the land, both among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. But as for me, I am few in number, and they, gathering together against me, will chop me up, and I shall be annihilated, I and my household." Nevertheless, they said, "But they shall treat our sister like a whore." Now God said to Jacob, "Arise and go up to the place Bethel and reside there, and make an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you were fleeing from the presence of your brother Esau." Then Jacob said to his household and all those who were with him, "Remove from your midst the foreign gods that are with you, and purify yourselves and change your garments, and arise, let us go up to Bethel, and let us make an altar there to God, who hearkened to me in the day of distress, who was with me and preserved me on the road when I traveled." And they gave to Jacob the foreign gods that were in their hands, and the earrings in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the terebinth in Shechem, and he destroyed them to the present day. And Israel rose up from Shechem, and a divine fear came upon the cities all around them, and they did not go in pursuit of the sons of Israel. Then Jacob came to Luz, which is in Bethel, which is in the land of Canaan, he and all the people who were with him. And there he built an altar, and called the name of the place Bethel, for there God had revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from the presence of his brother Esau. Now Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died under the acorn tree below Bethel, and he called its name Acorn Tree of Mourning. And God appeared to Jacob again in Luz when he arrived from Mesopotamia of Syria, and God blessed him. And God said to him, "Your name is Jacob. No longer shall it be called Jacob, but Israel shall be your name." And God said to him, "I am your God. Increase and multiply nations, and gatherings of nations shall be from you, and kings shall come from your loins. And the land that I have given to Abraham and Isaac, I have given it to you, and it shall be yours, and I will give this land to your offspring after you." Then God went up from him out of the place where he had spoken with him, and Jacob set up a stone pillar in the place in which he had spoken with him, a stone pillar, and he poured out a libation on it, and poured oil on it. And Jacob called the name of the place there at which God had spoken with him, Bethel. Then after Jacob had set out from Bethel, he pitched his tent beyond the tower of Gader. Now it came about when he drew near Chabrinth to go to the land of Ephrath, that Rachel gave birth, and she experienced severe birth pangs in the birth. And it came about while she was giving birth with difficulty that the midwife said to her, "Take courage, for this one is also a son for you." And it came about as she was giving up her soul, for she was dying, that she called his son's name Son of My Pain, but his father called him Benjamin. So then Rachel died, and she was buried on the way to Ephraim. This is Bethlehem. And Jacob set up a stone pillar at her tomb. This is the stone pillar of Rachel's tomb to the present day. And it came about when Israel dwelt in the land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard, and it seemed evil in his sight. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and the sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's maid, Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's maid, Gad and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob, who were born to him in Mesopotamia of Syria. Now Jacob came to his father Isaac at Mamre, at the city in the plain, this is Hebron, in the land of Canaan, where Abraham and Isaac had resided as aliens. And as the days of Isaac that he lived amounted to 180 years, and breathing his last, he died, and was added to his kin, old and full of days, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 31 to 46. On the way, Jesus told them, "Tonight, all of you will desert me, for the scriptures say, God will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will scatter. But after I have been raised from the dead, I will go ahead of you to Galilee and meet you there." Peter declared, "Even if everyone else deserts you, I will never desert you." Jesus replied, "I tell you the truth, Peter. This very night, before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times that you even know me." "No," Peter insisted. "Even if I have to die with you, I will never deny you." And all the other disciples vowed the same. Then Jesus went with them to the olive grove called Gethsemane, and he said, "Sit here while I go over there to pray." He took Peter and Zebedee's 2 sons, James and John, and he became anguished and distressed. He told them, "My soul is crushed with grief to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." He went on a little farther and bowed with his face to the ground, saying, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup of suffering be taken away from me. Yet I want your will to be done, not mine." Then he returned to the disciples and found them asleep. He said to Peter, "Couldn't you keep watch with me even for 1 hour? Keep watch and pray, so that you will not give in to temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the body is weak." Then Jesus left them a second time and prayed, "My Father, if this cup cannot be taken away unless I drink it, your will be done." When he returned to them again, he found them sleeping, for they couldn't keep their eyes open. So he went to pray a third time, saying the same things again. Then he came to the disciples and said, "Go ahead and sleep. Have your rest. But look, the time has come. The Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Up, let us be going. Look, my betrayer is here." Thus ends the reading for today. Never walk alone.